manager home. John Boothby has plenty of work to do to get out of trouble. He's already given up one run in the bottom of the first. Working the inside corner.
That was
strike one on Scott Metcalf.
Very nice breaking ball. Had Scott leaning up on his front foot.
Dan Radisson tells me that John Boothby possesses a great changeup and a nice breaking ball, but sometimes he doesn't know what he's throwing. A fork ball, maybe. Nice little good location on his fastball, as I mentioned.
When you throw so many different speeds and you have such a great changeup, then the fastball looks even that much faster. You come and change every single speed of your pitch, and then when you throw that fastball, it seems like it's coming about 100 miles an hour.
That was the 1-1 pitch on the inside corner as well. The count now on Metcalf is 1-2. That's something Tony Adamson brought up. Said an inch of movement gives you an extra mile. That ball just seems to be zooming in there faster and faster as it's moving. Scott Metcalf gets the ground ball up to centre field. Grant McDonald will come in and clean up. Runners now on first and second. And a base hit for Scotty Metcalf. Tony Adamson is the man on second base.
Let's have some noise for the first baseman.
As the Heat collect another hit. Runner now in scoring position. We're down to number 6. The first baseman, Sean Jones.
Well, if Sean Jones can clean up these batters, this game will be practically identical to the Game 1 situation where the Bandits had the hot first quarter. First inning. Get my technical phrases mixed up here. First inning, big inning for the Bandits. This time, it's the Heat's time.
That's a baseball, Steve. Just a bit smaller. Although the way Ron Johnson hit the home run in the Game 1, you'd swear he saw it as a basketball.
And when you're hitting the ball well, the ball seems like it's a basketball coming up there. It looks very small when you're in a batting slump, though.
1-1 on Sean Jones. Runners on first and second. Up high for ball 2. There's 2 down for the Perth Heat. 1 run on the board. Tony Adamson's at second. Metcalf is at first. And the line drive up to left centre field. Has it gone over? Spectacular catch from Grant McDonald. Curtis Goodwin pulled one in Game 1 here. That was an absolute screamer. For all money, that was gone.
Reached over the fence and got there. A spectacular play. He just saved the Bandits from a very terrible inning.
So the end of the first inning, but the Perth Heat have 1 run on the board. Here's the play. Oh, somehow Grant McDonald has climbed up there, used one hand to give himself a lift, and pulled in a sensational catch. Top of the second now. The Heat have a 1-run lead. It's a 1-0 ball game, and Ken McDonald is leading things off for the Brisbane Bandits. A reversal of roles compared to Game 1 here at Parry. The Bandits came out firing, and that's exactly what the Perth Heat plan to do. Ken McDonald's got this one to centre field. Do they pull it in? No. On the first bounce, McDonald stands up at first. A base hit to get things going in the top of the second. The designated hitter gets onto first base.
And Ken had big ideas on trying to stretch that one into a double. If that would have gotten in the gap, he would have gotten a double for sure. Stand-up double, but that one was cut off very well by Scott Metcalf out in right field.
Peter Buttram now, batting average of .270 this season. This regular season, he cops strike 1 from Scott Klingenbeck. Ken McDonald's at first base. And the Heat have a 1-0 lead. On the inside corner for strike 2, and Scott Klingenbeck has that fastball working.
He really seems to be in command of this game. He's really got an edge on his control. Backing off the batters when he feels like they're over the plate. He's really thrown a good game so far.
Klingenbeck can bring the fastball. in the mid to high 80s, 85, 86 mile an hour. That one's outside. The count now 1-2 on Peter Buttram with a runner on first.
With that last pitch, you can really see how he's moving the ball around the plate. Going to the outside, looks over to first just in time.
Well, Scott Klingenbeck is playing in the Class A Frederick Club for the Baltimore Orioles organization, where he's a teammate of Curtis Goodwin, who's the leadoff batter and centre fielder for the Perth Heat. Curtis and Klingenbeck were also together at Kane County in 1992. And here they are at Parry Field.
I seem to be worried about Big Mac over there on first base. I really don't think he's going anywhere. He doesn't have a very big lead.
Well, Ken McDonald's a big man. How much speed he's got in between bases.
The umpire's having a word to the coach. Something's going on out there. Here we go. Bit of a confrontation.
Well, Jeff Brand
Look at this.
and Dan Radisson are having words, and it's only the top of the second. Dan Radisson's not a happy man about something.
I think he might be questioning that last play over to first. He might have thought if that was a balk. That's about the only thing I can think of.
Well, he wasn't happy, and he came out with all guns blazing to Jeff Brand. There's a ground ball. Gets past Greg Jelks and goes out to left centre field. Curtis Goodwin cleans it up for the Perth Heat, but runners now on first and second for the Brisbane Bandits. Peter Buttram over at first. Ken McDonald has got to second base. And there's no men down.
If there's one problem that the Heat have had this season, it is their D. They're a little inconsistent, makes some unforced errors there.
Well, now it's David Foxover who's playing shortstop for the Bandits in this game. A little check swing, but it's just drifted into no man's land between the centre field. Ken McDonald comes home and scores. The game's tied at 1 apiece. Ken McDonald diving into home plate. They sent the ball down there, but Michael Moyle couldn't clean it up. Now the Brisbane Bandits have tied this game at 1. Ken McDonald gets the high fives as he heads back to the dugout, but there's now runners on first and second for the Bandits. Fox over at first. Peter Buttram is at second. Now it'll be Homer Bush.
Grant McDonald just sticking his bat out. That pitch was outside. He just rode it to right field. Didn't need much of a swing. Got the job done.
Here's Homer Bush. A swing and a miss at his first pitch.
And he had a good look at that one.
And strike one. Homer Bush leads the batting average for the Australian Baseball League. An average of .374. He's been to the plate 179 times before this game, with 67 hits and 15 runs batted in for the season. The regular season batting champion for 1993-94. This game is now locked at 1 apiece. Scott Klingenbeck to Bush up high.
Just keeping him off the plate. Homer has a look. Didn't like that. A little bit too close. He has a bit of a walk around. Checks his sign from the third base coach.
As I mentioned, some changes in the Brisbane Bandits lineup. Steve Hinton is out with a sore toe. David Foxover has moved to shortstop. And Stuart Robig has come into the third base position. Another foul ball from Homer Bush. The count remains on him, 1-2. So a bit of a shuffle around for the Brisbane Bandits. Bush is now batting 7. Grant McDonald will bat 8. And Stuart Robig is the number 9 batter for the Bandits. A late change coming into game 2. Homer Bush goes down swinging, the first man down for the Brisbane Bandits. He had a couple of big swings at that. And he heads back to the dugout with Grant McDonald on deck. Runners now on first and second. That's how it stays.
Well, Klingenbeck must be having some good stuff out there, because homer on those pitches. Those 3 swings that he took was late on all of them. The foul balls were going all to the right part of the field over in the grandstand, and that miss, he swung late. So he must be changing his speeds because his fastball isn't that fast for the best hitter in the league to be swinging that late.
This is Grant McDonald at the plate. At second base is Peter Buttram. At first is David Foxover. Only one down. It's the bottom of the second, rather top of the second. And it's a 1-all ball game. There's a high ball out to deep centre field. Curtis Goodwin making plenty of ground and swallows it up. Buttram moves along to third, but Foxover stays at first. Runners on the split bases, first and third. Curtis Goodwin covered plenty of ground. He's got plenty of pace out there, Curtis Goodwin.
Now right to his cutoff man, too, not to allow the Bandits to advance that runner to second base.
Now we're down to Stuart Robig. 2 down for the Brisbane Bandits. They've levelled this game at 1. Runners now on first and third. Robig, a late inclusion in this game. And what a time to step up. He's only got a batting average of 143. 7 appearances at the plate this season. He hasn't seen much action, Stuart Robig.
Klingenbeck had Grant McDonald leaning the wrong way, and that's why that play was pretty close.
That was in the zone. Robig had a big swing.
But another late swing. He's really getting a lot on that fastball.
The count is 0-2. Robig hails from Bundaberg in Queensland. Foxover is checked at first base.
0-2 count. Let's see what he throws. See if he can get him to chase a bad one out of the strike zone.
Foul ball. Just up the left field line. The count remains 0-2. 2 men down for the Bandits.
And talk about Klingenbeck's control on that last pitch. It was low and outside. Very difficult pitch to hit. Even if you do get a bat on it, you're not going to hit it very far.
Well, the Perth Heat had a very lackluster start to the playoffs, where there have been plenty of times in the Australian Baseball League. A heap of experience when it comes to playoff gamemanship, but they faltered in game 1, and Tony Adamson said they'd have to come out firing in this game. They started well with 1 run at the bottom of the first, but they've given up 1 in the top of the second, where the Bandits have levelled it. There's 2 down and a 1-2 pitch. The high ball out to right centre field. Scott Metcalf, he collects. End of the top of the second, but the game's tied at 1. Scotty Metcalf making the play at right field. The 7, 8 and 9 batters up in the bottom of the second for the Perth Heat.
At the bottom of the second, John Moore reaches base on balls, and Jason Hewitt's hit the left field brings Moore home to give the Heat a 1-run buffer. Through the third innings and the top of the fourth, the scores remain locked at 2-1, favouring the home team. We go back to the game at the bottom of the fourth.
That one into the dirt. 1-2 now. And there was an eerie silence here in game 1. Not a bad crowd, but very quiet.
Well, the Bandits set the tone early. Boy, I tell you what, not much to cheer about the ground ball.
David Foxover with the play at first. That's the end of John Moore. 1 up, 1 down for the Heat in the bottom of the fourth. That'll bring up the second baseman, Jason Hewitt, and he'll be followed by Michael Moyle. You'll see the play here. The pitch from John Boothby just got over the top of it and sent it up to Foxover, who made a nice play. Picked it up well. Got him. This is Jason Hewitt now. Second pitch, swing and a miss. 1-1. Almost halfway through this game. The playoff series going to 9 innings. Whereas in the regular season, we only go to 7. And gives us the opportunity to have that 7th inning stretch.
Could use it.
Which you'd be well accustomed to, watching ball in the States.
Are you going to sing "Take Me Out to the Ball Game"?
I'll leave the singing up to you, Steve. I've heard you sing an Australian anthem at a Sydney Kings basketball game, and it was very impressive indeed.
But they lost. Every time I sing the national anthem, the home team loses.
The ground ball, Homer Bush can't clean it up. Jason Hewitt gets on first base.
Homer Bush, Jason Hewitt's aboard. Runner at first and 1 out for the catch.
1 down so far for the Perth Heat. John Boothby just checking with Homer Bush. Maybe it was please don't do that again, Homer. Homer Bush normally rock solid out there at second base.
Well, when you make an error, what you don't want is for that run to score. Then you really feel bad.
Now it's Michael Moyle. Jason Hewitt checked it first. Just managed to get that ground ball up behind Homer Bush. Couldn't glove it cleanly. The result is Michael Moyle, the number 9 batter and catcher, now up at the plate.
Homer probably a little bit guilty of trying to get rid of the ball a little too quick before he had it, because he knew he was going to have a tough play, because that was really deep in the hole.
2-0 count on Michael Moyle. Fly it out to center field in his first at bat. Here's the 2-0 pitch. Boothby with a good lead. Here's another fly ball. This one to right center field. Grant McDonald cleans it up. Another fly out for Michael Moyle. Now back to the top of the order with Curtis Goodwin. There's a runner on first base for the Heat. They have a 1-run lead. It's 2-1 in favour of Perth in the bottom of the 4th. The breaking ball from Boothby. Ball 1.
Yeah, that was close. Curtis Goodwin really moves his feet a lot in the batter's box, even when the ball's coming. That's an odd style, but very effective for him.
Another one from John Boothby. Gets Goodwin swinging.
Hit that one off the front foot, but he seems to hit the ball off of his front foot. You don't get much power that way, but when you're as fast as Curtis Goodwin, if you can get the ball on the ground, he's leaning on his front foot anyway, he'd be really tough to throw out at first base.
That's the 1-1 pitch. Goodwin trying to turn it up towards right field. Sends it into foul territory and into the crowd. 1-2 count now.
He really opened his hips on that one and really pulled it. Plus Boothby fooled him with that pitch. Had him really out in front of the ball. The baseball.
Good to see we've got the distinction. The only nets here are behind home plate. Halfway up right and left field.
Yeah, you wouldn't have...
No, you can't reverse slam on them.
Yeah, you wouldn't have much trouble scorching these nets. There's plenty of it.
1-2 count on Curtis Goodwin. That's Jason Hewitt, the runner at first. Let's see what Boothby does with the 1-2.
There he goes.
The breaking ball. Goodwin with a line drive up to center field. Jason Hewitt round second, comes into third, slides into third. A stand-up double from Curtis Goodwin. Runners now on second and third. And Jason Hewitt will come home. The run will score. You'll see the play here. Greg Jelks with the rising line drive, rather Curtis Goodwin. That one out to centre field where Grant McDonald sends it in. Express to third base. Stuart Robig's waiting for it. It went into the net. And the umpires went over. and advanced Jason Hewitt, who'd already made it to third, but with the ball going into the net, he gets the free base.
Well, with a good throw, that probably would have been an out, but once again, the pressure of the playoffs getting to Grant McDonald. That one slipped out of his hand and took off.
So a stand-up double from Curtis Goodwin. It's now a 3-1 ball game in favour of Perth. Runs coming in the bottom of the first, second and fourth. Inside. This is Clayton Byrne now, grounded out in his first at bat. Third baseman for the Perth Heat. Batting second in the order. That was on the outside, got underneath this. Ron Johnson at first base goes over and ends the bottom of the fourth. But the Perth Heat now have a 2-run lead. They've stretched it. It's a 3-1 ball game in favour of the local team. We'll be back with more Pepsi Cup baseball right after this.
At the top of the fifth, the Heat's defensive pressure stalls the Bandits, who are unable to put a man on base. In the bottom of the fifth, the home team go 3 up and 3 down, but the crowd still find cause to celebrate. Through the sixth, neither team is able to advance. Brisbane manager Dan Radisson brings Kim Jessup to the mound, who makes an immediate impact.
Just the right man for the job. And switched from a right-hand to left-hand pitcher. Bottom of the sixth, that one was outside, back to Jessup. He signals, I got it.
At the top of the eighth, Perth manager Tony Adamson senses a resurgence by the visitors and opts for the Heat's most potent weapon, pitcher Graham Lloyd.
Graham Lloyd welcomes his counterpart in the Milwaukee Brewers with strike one.
Lloyd shuts down the Bandits at the top of the eighth, and with the score still at 3-1 to Perth, the Bandits look to restrict the Heat offence. We go back to the action at the bottom of the eighth with another change at the mound.
Greg Southers has replaced Kim Jessup. Begins with a ball for Michael Moyle. Jason Hewitt's at first base. Underneath this one is Michael Moyle. At the centre field, Grant McDonald. Second out for the Perth Heat. Jason Hewitt still at first base. They go back to the top of the list with Curtis Goodwin, the centre fielder. Got a double in his last at bat.
They may go with a left-hander to face Curtis Goodwin. That's what they're doing. So the Bandits obviously think that they're still in this game. Only 2 runs away, still within striking distance.
Well, Greg Southers lasted 4 pitches.
Well, he did his job. He got him to pop up. Got that out.
That's how it works in this game. It's a game of tactics now between the Bandits and the Heat. The Bandits doing everything they can, as you said, to stay in it. They obviously feel as though they can bring it back. It's the bottom of the 8th. They're 2 runs behind. The list continues for the pitchers. This is David Guda. And of course, while these 2 teams are battling it out, they don't know who they're going to face. The series on the other side of the country is 1-0 in favour of Sydney. But as you saw at the top of this program, Game 2 washed out. We'll have to wait till tonight to find out who makes it through, Sydney or the Giants.
That's right, David Gooda, 22 years old, looks more like not a day over 18. Very young man in a tight spot here.
He's got a runner on first, 2 down, and Curtis Goodwin up at the plate. A little bit of a shaky start. Actually couldn't blame Gooda for having a few nerves. A revolving door out in the Brisbane Bandits bullpen. As I mentioned, Greg Southers lasted just 4 pitches. Kim Jessup only a few more. John Boothby was the starting pitcher. I wonder how many are left over there in the bullpen.
They might call one of us out there. I hope not.
I heard you can sing. I don't know about throwing a ball.
I never did learn how to pitch. I had a serious knuckleball, though.
2-1 now. On Curtis Goodwin, I believe you. 2 down for the Heat. Goodwin with the ground ball. They make the play at second. The end of the 8th inning. It's still a 3-1 game in favour of Perth. We'll go to the last. This is it, the top of the 9th. Peter Buttram, the last chance for the Brisbane Bandits. Graham Lloyd begins with strike 1, just as he began. The top of the 8th, when he replaced Scott Klingenbeck. Down low, the count on Buttram is 1-1. The Perth Heat just 3 outs away from levelling this playoff series at 1 apiece and sending it to a decider. Sunday night, 7 o'clock Perth time. Strike 2 on Peter Buttram. Graham Lloyd wasted no time getting out there, just got straight into the groove.
He has had an impressive start. That's why he's in closing this one.
That was the 1-2 pitch, just drifted outside and high, now 2-2.
The good pitchers always have you guessing on the speed, on the location.
A piece from Peter Buttram, but a foul ball. It's still an even count. Buttram's leading off the top of the 9th. They need 2 runs to get back and tie it. 3 to take the lead and force the Heat to get up and bat again. Similar shot, another foul ball. Still 2-2. Graham Lloyd wastes little time when he's on the pitch. A lot of pitchers like to get out and walk around and take their time. He stops, gets straight into it, and he's got Peter Buttram swinging at just about everything.
Buttram, very defensive right now, just fighting those pitches off. Hopefully he can get one that he can get a good swing on. He doesn't want to let anything go that's too close and get called out for strike 3.
The attempted breaking ball. It's now a full count on Peter Buttram. He's been the impressive batter for the Brisbane Bandits. 3 for 3 tonight. Let's see what he can do against Lloyd. The ground ball over to Greg Jelks. Fires it to first. Out. Peter Buttram is called out at first. The first man down in the top of the 9th. The Heat are now just 2 outs away from tying this series at 1 apiece. You'll see Greg Jelks, the high chopper, got down on it. Yanked it over to Sean Jones. What a full stretch. That's the end of Peter Buttram.
I really thought Jelks should have charged that and tried to get that one bounce before, because that play was close.
He's a cool customer, Greg Jelks. Not a whole lot gets past him at shortstop.
That's right. Probably I would have fielded it like that because I have such a terrible arm. He's got a bit of a cannon on him, doesn't he?
So does this man, Graham Lloyd. 0-1 count on David Foxover. That's zipped on the inside.
That's right. Make sure he doesn't lean over the plate.
1-1.
Keep him honest.
Another high chopper. Jelks again. The play. 2 down now. Greg Jelks effective with 2 throws. Sean Jones with the big stretch at first base. You'll see it here. Graham Lloyd gets David Foxover swinging on the 1-1 pitch. Went over Lloyd's head. Jelks appears out of nowhere. Cleans it up. Jones is there again. 2 down now. Homer Bush, the man who won the batting championship regular season. A 374 average, struck out last time when he went up to the plate.
Wasn't happy about it either.
He hasn't had a good night, Homer Bush. This one, a line drive out to right field. Heath Gillard goes back. And a spectacular catch from Heath Gillard. The Perth Heat have won this game 3-1. The playoff series is tied at 1 apiece. And celebrations all round. This is the play that ended it. Homer Bush got a rising line drive that drifted out to right field. Almost caught in no man's land. Heath Gillard was back at the fence doing the duty. That's the end of the game, the end of the Brisbane Bandits. They lose it by 2. Graham Lloyd, what an effective couple of innings he had, but Scott Klingenbeck can take much of the credit. The Perth Heat send this playoff series into the deciding game. Stick around, we'll have more Pepsi Cup baseball right after this. Look out! So the Perth Heat have levelled this series 1 apiece at Parry Field. An exciting 3-1 victory over the Brisbane Bandits. Now, Steve Carfino, we talked about lifting the standards in the ABL. This game's got to go a long way to doing that.
Yeah, it was a great game. The Heat felt like if they were going to win this game tonight, they had to keep Nielsen quiet. He was hitless. They scored the first run, and they never really looked back.
Enjoy the game?
It was a great game. I mean, there were great plays defensively. That catch, saving the home run, that last play of the game, it was great.
Great to have your company. We look forward to next time you join us on Pepsi Cup Baseball. Thanks for being with us.
All right, thanks.
Okay, now the winners aren't just confined to the ballpark here on this show. We've got 10 winners from our Rookie of the Week competition, and they are Katie Allen, Troy Simmons, Robert Laidlaw, Jenny Kutajar, John McCauley, Dick Eyre, David Housend, Graham Hosking, Lee Sharman, and Mark Kipping. Congratulations, you're our winners for this week. You all go into the draw for a family trip to Chicago. That'll be drawn in our special end-of-season show in 2 weeks. Now, the sport doesn't stop here on Network 10. Continual sport throughout the week, headed by Sports Tonight 7 nights a week after the late news. On Saturday at midday, you can catch Steve Carfino again with all the action from the NBA and Basketball Extra. And also on Saturday, round 3 of that terrific Tui's Blue Triathlon Series. It's hosted by Billy Woods, and it's live from Geelong in Victoria. And be sure to check your local guides for that one. Well, the playoff picture is no clearer. It's 1 apiece here at Parry Field. 1-0 in favour of Sydney over the Adelaide Giants. You're going to have to get out to your local ballpark, Parramatta Stadium or Parry night. Now, we'll be back next week with the Championship Series. Whoever it is, we'll have it covered here on Pepsi Cup Baseball. On behalf of Steve Carfino, I'm Matthew White. We hope you enjoyed this show. See you next week.
Commentators Matthew White and Warren Smith.
Well, what an incredible game.